We have so much to talk about today, you guys. So grab a beverage. Hopefully, you're wearing something comfy. Please smash that like right now and let's get started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want. Cause your heart's made of gold. But don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, stand-up comedian and pop culture vulture, Joleen Lunzer, here for another no offense, all offense, where we talk about pop culture news, things we love to hate, things we hate to love. We roast it, we recap it, we take a comedic look, we have some laughs. Remember, I'm very opinionated, but that doesn't mean that you have to have the same opinion. You are welcome to sound off in the live chat or the comment section if you're on the replay crew, and we can just agree to disagree.
That's my opinion!
It's just my opinion. Now, everything I'll be saying today is true, except for the parts that are false. Everything is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, so don't sue me. Allegedly, you guys, allegedly. Happy Monday. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I can't even believe it. 2024 is almost over, but we're here today. We're going to have some laughs. We're going to talk about some stuff. We have a lot of pop culture news, Bravo television news, other things that we will be having some fun with today. So make sure you smash that like. Make sure you subscribe. We are on our way to 50K. You guys, can you even believe it? I know I can't believe it. That is crazy. So thank you to everyone who supports me. I've also scheduled a members only and Patreon supporters in two of the tiers. Night Pants with Nana tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. So we're going to have an early celebration for New Year's Eve because Nana has plans. I don't have plans, but my mom has plans. So make sure you look for that link in the members, the YouTube members community tab. I put a link for tomorrow's members only Night Pants with Nana. And then if you are a supporter on Patreon in the Jolene Besties, and there's two tiers, you would have gotten a post you would have saw on the wall on Patreon, and also a message that I sent to all of you who are in those tiers. So definitely let's wrap up the new year with none other than Nana, the amazing Nana, the reason for the season. Nay. Okay, sorry guys. I'm just getting something together that I wanted to play that's funny during this live. Okay. And boopity boop boop boo. So if you're not already a member and you want exclusive content and stuff, there is a link. I'm sure my mods will drop it in the live chat to either go on Patreon or here on YouTube with the YouTube membership. So, if you want to do that, that's cool. People have been also gifting memberships. So to those of you who have received a gifted membership, make sure you join us tomorrow morning. That's going to be early for old Jolene, but you got to do what you got to do for Nana because she's got plans. You guys, she's got big plans. And if you want to support the channel further, you know the drill. Become a member. Or you can send a super chat while we're live here on YouTube. I'll highlight your comments. I'll set a super chat goal. If you want to participate in that, you don't have to, but if you want to, it's there. Also, shout out to those of you who just joined my Patreon as free members, because even if, if you just, are already a member on here, or, just don't, not everybody has it to be members. It's struggle. We're all struggling. So, but definitely go to my Patreon, and the link is in the description of the video, and sign up to be a free member, because you never know what could happen with YouTube or with this channel. And if anything does happen, we will all reconvene over on the Patreon. So it'll cost you nothing. And then if anything ever happens, that is like our special apocalypse play. If the apocalypse, why can't I say apocalypse? If the apocalypse comes, beat me, like Buffy says. But don't beep me, because pagers are now, I think, obsolete. Do doctors still use them? Maybe. But instead, Patreon me. Go over to Patreon, and then that's where we will all be during the apocalypse. I think that's what we're going to do. Okay. So thank you to those of you who signed up as free members, because then will hopefully never lose each other. I'll never let go, Jack. I will never, ever let go. You name the impersonation Joleen does and more. All right, so here we started our super chat goal, you guys, for the day. We got 45 minutes and we'll see if we'll hit it. Yesterday we came super close. The other days we completely smashed the goal, so that was amazing. You guys continue to just make this so fun for me. So thank you for loving my sweater. It's a Christmas present from my mother-in-law and my stepfather-in-law, and I love it. It's like they know me or something. Okay. Thank you, Laura. Laura said, just joined your Patreon. It was quick and easy. It's super easy. It's painless, you know, and I don't know yet what I'll end up doing over there. You know, we might have some even more special things happening over there, but it's definitely a place that will go if anything ever happens to the YouTube channel, because you never know. I mean, 2025 is coming. Who knows what's going to happen? We don't know. So smash that like if you haven't already. Mods, please let me know when we get to 100 likes. That's the goal to hit right now. I want to say she always shops at Nordstrom, Pamela D, and it's I don't know what the brand is. Let me see. I'll show you guys. Whatever this brand is, Kate. Okay. It's Kate and Sam. So it might not be Nordstrom. It could be Nordstrom Rack. It could be Kohl's. I don't know. But it's Kate and Sam. That is the brand. So I don't know where you get that. Pagers are not weapons of war. They are not. They are not. But for Buffy, they had to get a hold of her because she was going to save the planet. Hello, Taylor. Hello, everyone joining. And thank you, Amy, for starting us off with the first super chat of the live. Happy New Year to you, Joleen, and the family. Thank you, Amy-ism. That is so sweet of you. And Happy New Year to you guys, too. Okay, I think we have to talk about the biggest story that's trending right now in the Bravo world, you guys. And that is that Paige DeSorbo and Craig Conover. So Paige from Summer House, Winter House, and then Craig, who's also been on Summer House, Winter House, but we know him from Southern Charm. They have broken up, you guys. And I'm like, oh God. Oh God. Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling this way. I think they broke up maybe even before the holiday. And they just recently are talking about it. And by they, I mean, I haven't checked Craig's socials. We can check them here today, but I did listen to the latest Giggly Squad episode that was released earlier today. And that is the podcast, if you don't know, that Paige has with Hannah, who used to be on Summer House, Winter House, but then went on to become a stand-up comedian. She got married to a comedian. She became a comedian, then got married to a comedian, and now has been on Netflix and all the things. So on their Giggly Squad latest episode, she talked about it. And you guys are going to have to sound off in the chat and let me know your thoughts on this. Because I will say, when, you know, who broke the news to me was Hype Man Husband Child. And I was like, no. We were sitting, having our morning coffee, and he told me while he's on break from school for the holidays that he's going to be producer Chell. So he does what a lot of you guys do, which I so appreciate, sends me stories, anything I missed. And he was like, some Paige and Craig broke up, because he doesn't know who they are. He probably does kind of, because I think I made him watch a season of Summer House with me. But I was like, what? And then the more I've digested, I was like, oh no, that was a long time coming. But I did like them as a couple. Am I the only one? Let me know in the chat. Oh God. Oh God. So I feel like it's a little bit of a day of mourning. You know, they most likely broke up before the holidays, you know, which is always a positive. If you're going to break up with someone, do it before the holidays so you don't have to buy them gifts. And if you did, you know, and you break up like the day before or something, at least you have time to return them. You know what I mean? Care Bear says, I love them as a couple. Naomi says, one of them cheated. That's the only reason. Care Bear says, very sad. My fellow Aquarius Craig. Pamela B says, so are you saying there's a chance with Craigie? I only live a few hours from Charleston. Possibly. I mean, I think she's going to be a very eligible bachelorette, and he's going to be a very eligible bachelor. Anna says, I'm so happy for both of them. Honestly, they wanted completely different things in life. Yes. And stayed together because the Bravo community loved them so much. I feel like there was that pressure on them. But let's just listen to some of the audio from the Giggly Squad that I grabbed with her addressing this on the pod. And let's make sure it's, oh, did it not even record? Stop it, Giggly Squad. I listened. Oh, we'll have to go to the podcast, the actual podcast, because I think it's very telling. And I think she's opening up. But according to her, there was no infidelity, anything like that. There was no Scandival-esque type stuff, which is refreshing. And hopefully that is the truth, But I think it is the truth. I think that it just, like Anna was saying, they wanted two different things. Craig wanted to settle down. He wanted kids. He wanted her to move to Charleston. He was like building a house around her, or his house, making it their house. And she just wasn't ready for that. She's younger than him. She loves living in New York. She cried saying she was going to miss her parents when they would bring it up. And I get it. When you're not ready for that, the worst thing you can do is push, to make that happen. And I think Hannah and Paige did I don't normally listen to their podcast, but I think they did such a fantastic job addressing this as young women. I know Paige is 32 and Hannah, she must be like 30 by now, right? Addressing this as young women, like the pressure you feel. Because now, as a woman in my 40s, there's still pressure on women as long as we're alive. But I think there is that in your 20s and your 30s, especially if you're not married, if you're not popping out babies, the system is like, what are you doing with your life? Not knowing that not all women want to be married. Not all women want to be mothers. And that's okay. And that's the wonderful thing, is you get to choose. Some people want to be moms so bad and they want to get married, and that happens for them. And that's beautiful. And some women, they don't want that shit. Some women try it. It doesn't work. Some women try it multiple times. But the point being that women should not, womanhood isn't a monolith. It's not this, there's not one definition of being a woman. But in society, we definitely still feel that pressure from the patriarchy. We definitely still feel like, this misogyny of, oh, you are not a full woman. You are not worthy unless you're a mother or a wife. And that's just not the freaking truth. So I like to see someone like Paige who, seemingly never gave in to the pressure that not only Craig kind of, he's like, hey, you want to do this? Not only the pressure from her boyfriend, but also the pressure from fans, the pressure from society, the pressure from the network. And she did it her way. Dreadful Ruby says, Paige, like Ariana, receives insane amounts of misogyny from the Bravo fandom. I noticed that. And she shouldn't, because Paige is wonderful. So let's listen to what she had to say. I'll be stopping for some commentary, but we'll just listen to a little bit of it.
Hollywood, Florida. I've never been to New Orleans. I'm actually okay, it's reality. And so I was trying to think about how I was going to say this, and it's not true. And you've said things to me before that aren't true. I've lied to you multiple times.
So this is the latest Giggly Squad episode.
What is reality? And so I was trying to think about how I was going to say this, and one of the things that popped in my head was our beta blocker episode was probably one of the most nervous I've been to do an episode and say just something I've never talked about before in real time of how I felt a couple days prior to that.
Me too, Amy.
And I think it was our biggest response episode, because there were just so many gigglers who were wow, this was on another level. We get each other. We've truly formed a cult. This pod was made off of making fun of each other, and most importantly ourselves. But in that, as you're making fun of yourself, you start being holy shit, I'm seeing some real shit. And we talk about it and we go in and out all the time. Yeah. But look, the gigglers are our best friends. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. We've been doing this podcast now for 5 years. It does not feel like that at all. Because we're only 26. Because literally I'm 27, when COVID started. So obviously I want to tell the gigglers first, and I feel the most comfortable with the gigglers, and I know that people are gonna take these clips, and it's gonna be not a lot of non-gigglers chatting. This is all just you announcing you have another UTI.
Well, maybe I'll be a giggler now. I don't know. I just know there's so many podcasts. I can't keep up.
So
we're tired. We're tired, Paige. Side note, this is going to be a little dramatic episode, and we didn't have a plan. We didn't have a plan, and I told her my plan was to let her talk.
And my plan was to let Hannah talk.
Never
And so we got on the pod and we realized that we have no plan. This episode is pre-recorded, so we'll say that in case like anything happens in the news that like we're not touching on, because it's like all about me right now. What I did want to say was that Craig and I have decided to no longer be together. And I know I said I would never cry on the internet, but like it's okay if I cry on the pod. I feel like that's okay. It's weird. Obviously, it's weird. Like, it's very weird. I wasn't expecting this. Obviously, when we first started dating, like, you don't think like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, will we get married? Will we not? You just kind of like are in this relationship. And as you get older, I mean, I started dating Craig and I was 29 and I'm 32 now, and your 30s for women, I feel like really are very transformative, and you change a lot and you grow a lot, and him as well. Not to sound traditional and old fashioned, but like, this is not a situation where like I have a 50-part series of like, who the fuck was I dating? Like,
which kind of disappointed. I'll be honest. I like Craig, but I'm always here for a 50-part series of who the F was I dating. So I guess they're going to be mature.
Could not be more opposite of that. I have so much love and respect for Craig. I think he is one of the best people I've ever met in my entire life.
Hey, Amy.
I will remain the biggest fan of him and want the best for him. And he truly will get the best because he is the best. But with that said, I think it is just the right decision for both of us, like moving forward in our lives and like the direction that our lives are going in that we like didn't foresee or like whatever. It's a very sad thing. And just to like say this, not that I even have to, but like in terms of people like saying rumors like, oh, Paige was told to like wait until Southern Charm came out or like Summer House came out. No one can tell me what to do. Like the network has power, but they don't have that much power. So like that was not a real thing. Rumors of us breaking up months ago, again, also not a real thing. I feel like when we started dating, our first rumor was like we were in a PR relationship. So like we've been with these rumors our whole relationship. So we didn't really give it a second thought, but I didn't want the gigglers to think like, oh, I was like leaving them out of the loop or something. Like not at all. Like anytime those rumors were happening, we were still together. When we did break up, like obviously I didn't run to social media and I didn't run to the pod. Like we both gave each other like a little time to deal with it on our own in private, like with our family and friends. And now I feel like it is appropriate to like be able to tell people. And so obviously.
Okay. So her just saying that, I feel like, she's saying that they broke up a little while ago. Now, how long ago, we don't know, but they gave each other some time to whether that it sounds like it was more than a day, maybe even more than a week, which surprises me that no bloggers or anything, like no one leaked this information, because I didn't see anything about them breaking up. Obviously, there's always the speculation. And like she said, back in September or whatever, people were saying that they broke up. So this didn't like just happen yesterday. They let it breathe for a little bit. And now they are coming forth with this information. Okay, I'm just going to speed it up a little bit because I listened to everything on like 2.0, but I'll speed it up to 1.25.
Come to the gigglers first. I'm not like throwing up a joint Instagram post, you know. That's not how I'm going to handle it. But I love him. I think he loves me. I think we will remain friends. No one did anything. It wasn't like a bad thing. I think we both were just being really mature and saying what we want and what we didn't want. And I think that's like extremely powerful to be able to voice like how you're feeling in real time and what you want for your future.
Wow. You're so fucking strong for being in a public relationship and putting yourself out there. And you both like fought really hard for this and wanting to make it work. Mm-hmm. And I do have to say, shout out to Craig, because reality TV dating is really hard. And I remember when you found him, he was the first guy who really like lifted you up and was so
who like got
he
me.
got you. He was so proud of you for what you were accomplishing, like on TV and off TV. And you hadn't had a guy support you like that. He's a huge reason for like who you are in the last couple of years, becoming who you are.
Oh my God, thank you for saying that, because I would have not even been able to say that to the gigglers. He truly helped me grow so much in these past 3 years. Like, I am a different person than when I started dating him. Like, I truly do feel like more mature, more just like confident, all of these things. And that's definitely like a tribute to him. It's just like so weird to talk about it. Like, it's just so weird.
It's also weird because we forget people listen to the pod. And I think why we're nervous is we know more people will like listen in to get the tea.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's true. I am listening in and I'm not a normal listener. I don't normally listen. So we are listening in to get the tea. But it's interesting that Hannah says that, because I hear that a lot about Paige, how people feel like she had a really positive impact on Craig. And I don't know if I've heard the take. Have you guys heard that take before, that Craig had a positive impact on Paige? But Paige will even go on to say in this episode that she feels like she became, almost like a better person, grew a lot. So it does seem like they have this mutual respect for each other, which is so crazy that we're shocked by this. But in the Bravo world, this is like seeing a Sasquatch. This is crazy. Because I feel like this is how Tom and Ariana should have ended, because very similar to Tom and Ariana, they wanted different things. The love for each other was allegedly there. I mean, I think Ariana really loved him. I don't know if Tom Sandoval knows how to love anyone else but himself. Actually, I know he doesn't, because he's an asshole. But this would have been so much, I mean, obviously not as entertaining as Scandival at the time. We were like, what? That was just like, it blew our minds. But this is how it should have ended between the two of them, is instead of Tom cheating any chance he could, especially with her friends and stuff, they should have just gotten to a point where they were honest with each other. And I would argue that Sandoval was the least honest, because he acted like he was so cool with Ariana and what she wanted and how she didn't want to get married and how she didn't want to have kids. And she even gave in a little bit with saying, okay, I will freeze my eggs. You can pasteurize them, you can do the thing. And they never did it. So she was starting to kind of give in a little bit, knowing that that's what he wants. And then maybe they could make that work. But then he was too busy banging her friend to, do the stuff to the eggs that needed to be done. And so this is probably how that relationship should have ended. So this is just like far more mature, unless something crazy comes out later. This is far more mature than we've seen with past Bravo relationships. Tamara, thank you so much for the super chat, getting us closer to our goal. Happy New Year to you as well. Let's see. Kali says, I hope it's appreciated by a Bravo world how classy and kind they are being to each other. I like it. I do appreciate that, as much as I'm like, ooh, I wish there was like we've had quite a few scandals. It would be nice to mix in some healthy people and some mutual respect within a relationship where people spent a lot of time with one another. And that's how I feel right now a little bit about, even when we listened to the PK interview, how he was acting towards Dorit versus how Mo was talking about Kyle. Mo was talking much more respectfully about Kyle, while PK was just, blaming Dorit, in my opinion, any chance he got. Irene says, no Craig hate here. I've watched him for years. I've yelled at the screen at him and also celebrated his growth. Yeah, there were years where Craig was like, what are you doing? And then there have been these good years where we're like, oh, okay, Craig's doing the damn thing. At least I wonder if Craig or if Paige. No. Oh God, please no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Yes, Twisted Live. Jolene serving up live streams day after day. We're making this a thing. We are making this a thing. They became Facebook, officially broken up. Oh, well then it's official, not just the podcasts. It's also the Facebook official. Naomi says, I'm team Paige on this. Yeah, no matter what happened, no matter if this is just the really like respectful breakup of, we just wanted different things and we decided we've been together 3 years and, you deserve to have what you want and I deserve to have what I want. It's just not the same thing, but I appreciate our time together, which is always such a mature and wonderful way to break up. Doesn't always happen. whether it's that or something comes out, even if Paige did something, I'm team Paige. I'm sorry, I'm team Paige.
That's what it is. I'm like,
we know that it's non-gigglers listening, and we're like,
yes, because I'm like beta blocker episode. Like once I got into the story, I was like, girls, listen up. This is like, I feel awkward because I don't want to say anything that can be like taken and misconstrued about him or about the breakup or any of it.
To make this about me.
Yeah, please.
What was hardest about it for me?
Girl code,
what was hardest about this relationship was that there wasn't a smoking gun. And I think the positive for like anyone who's listening right now is that relationships don't just end because there was a murder-suicide. Like relationships don't just end because there's a...
What? Then why are there so many Dateline episodes? Then why did I just watch like 5 back-to-back yesterday? But okay, Hannah.
Sandoval or like something, or he's...
Or she even says not a Sandoval.
Doing fucked up things. The hardest relationship I think to get out of is sometimes when you're like, I love this person. Do I want to be with this partner forever? And am I the same person I was 4 years ago? And I think for anyone listening, I love a breakup. They're scary, but they're empowering. And I'm excited to see like where you both go from here. And I just have to say, of a lot of the guys that do reality TV, he's definitely one of the better ones that's crossed my path.
No, he's definitely like the best boyfriend I've ever had. Like I can truly say that. Like he was a great boyfriend and he did everything correct and he never made me feel insecure or anything like that. And so it almost is harder when like no one's done anything to be mad about, and that's hard. Like
I have a lot of empathy for people who are on reality TV and dating. There's a reason why a lot of housewives are not in healthy relationships. And it's not for the weak.
No, it's not for the weak. And it's not even, I think maybe like why I was so nervous to say it is because I try and like live my life and be like, I don't care what people think about me. And that's just not true. I care a freaking lot. Like, so like, don't get down on yourself. And you're like, when people are like, oh, you care too much what people think. Like, okay, sorry. Like, yeah, it's human nature. I want people to like feel good around me and like me and all of this. So I think like also saying it publicly, I'm like, I feel mean. Like, I feel like a bad person. Like, because I know there's so many people that are like, how are you two not getting engaged? And how is this, whatever. It's just like a tough thing. And it's a tough world to like be in. And I want to feel like I'm being vulnerable and authentic specifically to the gigglers, but I also want to be like classy about it and like say everything in the correct way, because I don't want things to be misconstrued of like that we hate each other or that like something happened or whatever. It's really just like two people growing and changing and like things that they want in their lives changing. And like, I feel like I've been very vocal on the pod about how I hated turning 30. Like everyone around that had turned 30 was like, you're being dramatic. It's the same thing as 29. And I really had like a problem with it. Probably because I'm like so vain and narcissistic, but whatever.
I don't think it's necessarily that she's vain or narcissistic. I think that is like a really big age, especially for women, because we're kind of told, whether consciously or subconsciously, that we're only as good as our youth. We're only as valuable as we are able to reproduce and be young and stay beautiful. You know, men are told men get better with age. They get sexier. No, they just get older, just like everybody else. We're women. We never hear that about women. It's always like, why didn't she get work done? Is that her real face? Like if you watch a woman in the media naturally age, people are like, oh my God, why? What happened? People have been, you know, saying things even about Goldie Hawn. I know she has had her own work done and stuff, but people are just, seen the meanest things about her. And I'm thinking, Goldie Hawn has lived a life. She's in, what is she? She's like in her 70s now. Let her be her age, but we don't let women do that. We only allow men to do that. So I don't think it's that you're narcissistic or that you're superficial. I think it's that society freaking tells us you are only good when you're young and allegedly fertile and all these things. And then you're trash. But men, oh, sexy silver fox. How come ladies can never be silver foxes? How come we never get that? You know, I remember when the gray hair trend was happening and all the young women were dyeing their hair gray and people were like, oh, so freeing. And I'm thinking, no, because if a bitch who is of age to get gray hair like myself went gray, they'd be like, why didn't she dye her hair? Why would she let herself go? But when you're young and you do the gray hair, they're like, oh, that's so cute because you're still, you know, got the young. But when you are aging and you're older and you're just natural and you let your hair go gray, they go, oh, she gave up on herself. Look at her give up on herself. So, it's just like, it's so ridiculous. Wanda Lee, thank you so much for the super chat. Wanda says, wishing you lots of happiness and love to all the Lean team members in 2025. Oh, Wanda, you are such a sweetie. Thank you so much. And Happy New Year to you. And obviously all of the Lean team. Valerie says, you look radiant, Joleen. Oh, happy 2025. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate that. And thank you for the super chat. You guys, I really do appreciate that. That was so sweet. Okay. I keep hitting the same thing over and over again. Yeah. Goldie Hawn is 79. She's beautiful. She's an icon. She's amazing. Let her live her life. But everyone has all these opinions but Kurt Russell, oh, he gets better with age. But Goldie, they're like, what happened, or when Jamie Lee Curtis decided she wasn't gonna, play into this, weird social standard that women have to like do all these things and wear the makeup and get the surgeries. And Jamie Lee was like, I'm just going to kind of see what happens. And they're like, oh, she used to be so beautiful. So I think Paige is being too hard on herself. I think it's just the standard for women that is so gross and dated and so hypocritical and such a double standard compared to what we allow for men.
Just didn't like getting older. I love being 32. I've never felt more myself than in this past year. Like,
made me cry.
Giggly Squad tour.
Good for you,
Even though
Dawn.
Giggly Squad tour, I had like my first panic attack ever, and that was the craziest time of my life. I'm so like thankful for it because like the connection I feel like I formed with the gigglers became even deeper. And I just felt like so myself this year. I loved throwing myself into work. Like I loved doing everything I was doing, and it was stressful and it was hard, but like, I just felt very me.
And it's so funny because 4 years ago, if I told you what we did these last 6 months and what we created and what you pushed yourself through, I don't think you would have believed me.
No, I would have been like, I'm staying in bed. That sounds like a lot. And also I think one of the things that I get like the most insecure about is I am 32. And so a lot of times the rhetoric like online and directed at me is you're 32. Like, shouldn't you pack it in and get married? And like, you're not a kid anymore. And while I fully acknowledge I'm not a child, you also don't have to use the phrase pack it in when you're talking about the rest of your life as a woman.
Let's stop with the word geriatric I've been seeing on WebMD.
Yeah. Like, so if you're mad.
That's the worst when they say geriatric pregnancies. You're like, oh, so anyone over like 35 or 34 is like considered a geriatric pregnancy. And yeah, if you're a woman right now listening in your 30s, you're not old. If you're in your 40s, you're not old. If you're in your 50s, you're not old. If you're in your 60s, you're not old. If you're in your 70s, you're not old. If you're in your 80s, you're not old. If you're in your 90s, you're not old. If you're 100, bitch, you're old. That's old, okay? And God bless and own it. But be as young as you feel as you want to be. I sometimes put those standards on myself and I'm like, wait a minute. No, I've always, didn't feel what I was supposed to feel at the age I'm at. Do what is good for you, how you feel. If you feel good doing that thing, do it. I mean, I didn't get married till I was almost 35, which doesn't seem old now looking at it. But at the time, I was the last of the Mohicans. I was the last of my friends to get married. People were like, will Joleen ever get married? It just wasn't a priority for me. Moving to LA was a priority. Doing stand-up was a priority. Having Tilly was a priority. My relationship with Chell was a priority. But marriage was never a priority, hence why I didn't have a wedding and I eloped and all those things. So whatever works for you, do that thing. Whatever society says and like, oh, you're shriveled up and don't you want to be married? Don't you want to have kids? Maybe not. And maybe so. I just heard the lady from Boy Meets World, one of the actresses is 54 and she's having her first pregnancy. 54. Granted, she does have 3 other children that are now adults, but okay. Cool. Like it's not over, to quote one of my favorite bands, Frog Pond. It's not over.
I'm not mature enough to like get married. And
It's not maturity.
Also, if you try not to get Botox at 30, you don't need it. Believe me. You'll think you need it, but you don't. And if you go to a dermatologist that specifically says you need it, change dermatologists. I have a dermatologist who she will not suggest anything for me unless I bring something up. Now, full disclosure, I've never had Botox. I haven't yet. I'm not saying I never would or anything. You guys know I've had a nose job, so I'm not against changing anything you want to change about yourself. But my dermatologist keeps saying, because I'm like, what about, and she's like, I would wait. I'm like, she could totally make money off me. She could totally go, yeah, that's really bad. But she's like, no. And because I asked her one time, I go, can you just like tell me what you think? You know, because I mean, the dermatologist is more than just for cosmetic stuff. I mean, I go once a year. Hopefully, everyone else can. I know the healthcare system sucks, but to just get that all over looked at, like moles and things, to make sure that your skin and everything is okay. But I said, what do you think I need? She goes, oh, no, I don't work like that. And I'm like, what do you mean you have integrity? What do you have integrity? Well, full disclosure, there is, you guys keep complimenting my skin and I appreciate you guys so much, but I've brought this up before and I want to be totally transparent. There is a filter here on StreamYard. So I can either go super all the way or super not use it. And it's like, you can have like mild, medium, extra large, super large. And I usually put it somewhere between mild and medium on the filter. And it is a smoothing factor. So if you see me in real life, and those of you who have been to shows, I don't have baby, soft, no wrinkled skin. That isn't my reality. But when I'm live here on YouTube, it's just so much easier to just, put a filter on. But full disclosure, like I'm not a vampire or like sucking the blood of of men, just going out at night and going, come here, you, and just of young men and stealing their youth. I'm not doing any kind of death becomes her type thing. There's no potion, or I would tell you guys about it. But there is a filter on here. So I just look like every 44-year-old lady when you see me up close and in the light. But thank you for saying that. But also I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm just like naturally, like, no, there's a filter here on StreamYard that you can use. And I definitely use it. Thank you, Cammie. Cammie says, has anyone seen the movie Substance with Demi Moore? No. Is it good? Should we watch it? Because I'll totally watch it. And thank you for the super chat. I'll watch the shit out of that. Okay. All right. Yes, Sinister Girls, we are going into 2025 young.
It's not maturity.
Then you don't get me at all. Like, you can be 32 and decide to change the entire course of your life. You don't have to get married and have a baby because you think you have to. Like, just because you're in your 30s does not mean you're running out of time.
Exactly.
You can choose to do whatever you want.
There were timelines back then, and back then was very different. Women were not allowed to get a credit card until 1975. Of course, their only accomplishment that they were told to do was have a baby with a husband they met at 18 who took their virginity, and they didn't know what any other dick felt like. So they were stuck.
I mean, that's the truth. Hannah, it sounds like Hannah, she's such a comedian, because it's like, shit, I say. I feel like a lot of us lady comedians, a lot of us lean teamers, we're like, yeah, women couldn't get credit cards on their own until the 70s. They couldn't get a house on their own without men. Like, things have evolved and progressed. And yeah, like me and Nana always joke about that. Like, back in the day, it was like, okay, this is the dick you're going to stick with. And some people find one dick and it's their dick for the rest of their life, and they love that dick, and God bless. But that's not everybody. You got to try. You got to try before you buy. You got to try on sometimes. You got to see, there's not a one-stop shop for everybody. And now with technology, cars go further. And so you can find all kinds of dick, and that's not for everybody, but it's for a lot of people. And then it's not for a lot of people. So do what you want to do, what makes you happy. There's no right way to be a woman. The only wrong way to be a woman is to be a pick-me woman hater. That's the only wrong way, is to lean into the internalized misogyny and shit on your fellow woman. That's the only wrong way to be a woman, in my humble opinion.
With that one dick.
Right.
Not to go on a whole rampage right now.
Yeah,
To make it sexual.
It does annoy me when people put timelines on people. And I do have to say, reality TV producers put timelines on you because they're kind of like, what's your story? This season can't be the same as last season. What's the new story? And sometimes relationships aren't like that.
And like, obviously I don't control like what happens on our shows, or like what they show, what they don't show, what like storylines are. Like, I'm just living my life and they're painting a picture around it. So like, I get that people are like, oh, wasn't she moving? But like, that was my life. Sorry. Like, I couldn't like move forward for you.
We both did not anticipate like the amount of passion we'd have for Giggly Squad and like the stuff you have based in New York.
No, Giggly Squad's my whole life.
We didn't anticipate it.
Giggly Squad is my whole life. It's truly the only thing I care about. Like, I love Daphne, but I love Giggly Squad.
And she's part of Giggly Squad, so it's a Venn diagram.
Yes.
Can I say something controversial?
Truly is.
You keep bringing up the beta blocker episode. I was told by a therapist who I've since fired. No, I'm just kidding. I just like saying that. But that anxiety comes from when you feel like you're not being your authentic self, or you're not in alignment with what you should do. And I remember during tour when you started having panic attacks, thinking like, this isn't because of the gigglers. This isn't because you don't love performing. This isn't because you don't love your outfit. There's other stuff going on in your life that you're trying to figure out, and you're feeling a little stuck. And I think,
and I don't think I like saw
I like
it.
fully, you were like, I'm nervous about going on stage. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like,
Yeah.
you never were.
Yeah, I didn't feel aligned like in myself. And I'm someone that's very, very in touch with my body. Like, perfect example. I know when I have a UTI. I know when I have a yeast infection. Like, I've never had a pregnancy scare. Like, I fucking
My favorite
know
is when
my
Paige cancels
body.
plans because she feels a UTI coming on.
But that's real. I know when they're coming on. Like, I will say I feel very in tune with like how my body feels.
Same,
and
girl.
so like when my body does, and this has happened to me in the past, this isn't like the first time, when my body does kind of like betray me in a moment, I do know like, oh fuck, I'm ignoring something so big and I'm trying to act like it's not a big deal.
That a therapist told me that a long time ago, and I was getting these big hives. Now I get hives because I have eczema, but I was getting these like big anxiety hives, and I was in my late 20s, and I just wasn't processing what was really going on in my life. And a therapist told me, you can push it down. All the things you're feeling, you can be in denial, you can push down, but your body will always react. And that really is what a panic attack is. That really is when you get hives or, due to anxiety and stress. So you can go, everything's fine, it's fine, I'm fine. Everything's great. It's okay. And the world's burning around you like we talked about yesterday, but your body will always react. And panic attacks is like a great example of that. So if you are, experiencing, for the first time or going through something like that, it might be something you want to look into, talk to your doctor, talk to a therapist about, because there might be some stuff that you are not processing and your body's like, oh no, bitch, I'm going to come out in some anxiety and we are going to make you feel like you're having a damn heart attack.
And like,
yeah.
it is.
And to listen to your body, like, don't take it as like, I'm fucked up. Take it as, ooh, what is this message? It's not just that you're gluten intolerant. It's that your body's, it's giving you that like fight or flight response. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm just sitting here about to perform. Why am I treating this like a lion's chasing me? But I also do think that in your 20s, you date because you're like, this guy's great. I'm into him. Let's go. And then as you approach 30, it becomes like, I feel like you guys could have dated for a long time.
Yes. Well, people get so much more serious, obviously, in their 30s, and you take it more seriously, but that doesn't mean you're locked in. Like, I feel like, obviously the message I want to like send across to this episode is like giving the gigglers like information about my life of like what's going on so they're in the loop. But also, if you are in the same situation that I am in right now and you're in your 30s and you're like, but I'm so torn and I don't know what to do, and this is the first time I've never had a plan, or the first time I don't know what the next 5 years is like, that's where you should be at. Like, not everyone who's married and has kids feels like they know what the next 5 years of their life is or know what the plan is. They just may know some of the people that might be around, but they don't also know. Like, they're not better than you because they may seem like they have it all together because they're married and have children. Like, you are worth just as much as a single 32-year-old woman. Like, you have thoughts, ideas, and things.
Also, yeah, justice for the women who are married and do have kids too, because that's not just the end all be all. Like, all right, that's it. That's what I wanted. Now what do I do for the next 50, 60, 40 years? No, I think you will hear from your married and friends that have children, or married and have children. They ask the same questions as a single woman asks. Is like, with life, like, is this it? What do I want? Who am I? Am I defined by this? I think there's a lot of women who fall into this traditional role created by the patriarchy of what a mom should be, what a wife should be, and you lose yourself. And you'll hear that a lot when women who are mothers, then their kids leave the home. It's kind of this whole new, life crisis they go to, like, who am I? What am I? I've given so much of my life to being a mom and to being a wife because this is what society told me. And this is what I wanted to do. I mean, I love my kids. I love my husband. I mean, not everybody loves their kids and their husband, but, and now I'm staring at like, well, what is life? Because moms and women in general are responsible for so many things. We're told we're responsible for, we're expected to like know things and do things and run things and plan things and clean things. And then men are allowed to be like, I'm still figuring it out. And they're like fucking 70. And you're like, bro, figure it out. You know, like, and that's why we still have the issue where men are like, this woman save me. No, bitch, I am not here to save no man. Okay. None of our jobs is to save you from yourself or to help. I am not your mother. I'm not raising you. I'm not your father. I'm not raising you. I'm not your parent. I'm your partner. But we're still not at a point where women and men are on equal levels of expectations for them when it comes to just like life shit and knowing shit and our emotions and all these things. And so it's, I think all women, I mean, all people, you know, men as well. You go through life and you do question and it's like, well, what's next? And what is this? And trying to find peace in our current state, trying to find, you know, peace in just being present and then trying to be present. I mean, that's a whole other beast that seems almost impossible in today's culture and with, you know, everything and phones and electronics and jobs wanting us to like be there all the time and give our lives and our blood for them, only for them to like corporations to just let us go. Like, sorry, we're downsizing, but I gave you my blood. Yeah, we hired someone younger who we could pay a little less. Well, we might pay them more. I don't know. We'll see. So there's a lot of pressure. So I think it's not just like you get married, you have kids, and you're like, awesome. That's all I ever wanted. You're all I ever wanted. You're still a person. You know, those things don't define you. They're just part of you. Laura and Christy Buffenmeyer, hey, ladies, says, I have an 11 between my eyebrows that needs, I think we all do. Like I do this a lot. And then the lines kind of stay. Or disport every 3 months, or I look like I am grouchy. Christy will ask me if I'm mad when it's time for well, at least you know when it's time for your appointment. Christy is like, are you mad? Oh shit, I gotta call the dermo. Gotta get the Botox. Haru says, Amy Adams plays a wife, mom, and has a crappy husband asking where the girl I married and other BS. Just Kelly says, and Bravo shows really push the when are you getting married narrative. Mm-hmm. Not all relationships will end in marriage. And it's weird that this is the expectation. Yeah, they're not all meant to end in marriage. Otherwise, they're all going to end in divorce because you're not supposed to marry everybody you date. Just like I don't buy every pair of pants I look at or try on. They don't all suit me, you know. Denise says, you're right, Amy. I just came on without knowing the topic. Oh, sorry. I didn't know what you guys talk about. Peter Pan syndrome, you're saying in the chat, are not involved with a lot. We women who are not involved and with a lot to offer should stay single. These mofos don't deserve us. Let's see. What else are you guys saying? Silly Goose says, I'm always advising my 3 girls, please not until 30s. Please, this changes so much. My mom, Nana used to say to me what her friend Kathy would say to her daughter. So my mom had a friend that she worked with who was like a little older than her, and she looked up to her in the way she parented. And she told her girls, and feel free to use this, when you have nothing left to do, get married. Now, you know, that might mean then people are waiting until they're like 90, but kind of like live life for you. Do what you want to do. Achieve your goals. Your goal isn't just to be someone's wife, but if it is, then good for you. But it doesn't have to be for everybody. You know what I mean? So she was like, do everything you can. And then when there's nothing left to do, get married. So date, be in love, fall out of love, travel, you know, file for bankruptcy, do whatever you need to do. Go to college, you know, try stuff. And then when you're like, oh, okay, I feel good. Not necessarily settled. I don't want to say that. But when there's nothing left to do, then get married. And so the more my mom said that to me, the less I still felt pressure, like societal pressure, and my watching my friend group. I'm like, oh yeah. But I didn't feel as much pressure as I think I definitely would have had I had parents who were like, are you ever going to get married? But it's like, go live your life, do everything you want to do. And when you feel as though you've done that, get married. And then, you know what? Life doesn't stop there. Then you have experiences with this partner and you can go do all this other stuff you want to do, but live for you, you know, kind of first. So, and marriage isn't for everybody, and not everybody wants it. Not everybody needs it. But yes, steal that, because my mom stole it from her wonderful friend, Kathy. So spread it on, tell your girls, tell women everywhere, do everything you want to do in life. And when there's nothing left to do, get married. And it takes a lot of the pressure off. Pamela B says, I was engaged at 19, not sure what I was thinking. Luckily, it didn't work out. Yeah. And that's, I mean, had I gotten married and engaged to people I dated when I was in my 20s and teens, I'd be divorced, obviously, because I'm not with them. So, yeah. Not paid by anyone says marriage really is a business agreement these days. In a lot of ways, it is. It's kind of crazy. And when you kind of like break it down, it's like, whose idea was this? Whose contractual idea was this? Hey, UK, joining late. This is Hey, USA. Susan says, joining late from the UK. Well, you are just right on time. Vcoin says, no need to get married. It only traps you, leaving you with the only option of paying your way out of it. Well, and you know, people always say, well, go back to the days of like traditional, like our grandparents. It's like, you think our grandmas could leave? You think our grandmothers could leave? Not my generation, not my mom's generation of grandmothers. Again, they were, you know, in the 70s, you know, like fighting the ERA, which we never got straightened out, where women could buy houses on their own, have credit cards on their own, do all these things. Women didn't have the autonomy. They needed a dude. They had to stay married to buttholes. If we interviewed those women today, I guarantee they would be like, I would have left if I had the option. I would have left. Not everybody, but there wasn't option, the options there are now for single women. So we have progressed, even though we're headed into 2025 and Project 2025, and who the hell knows what's going to happen. But we have progressed to where we do have freedoms now. Hopefully it stays. God, I'm worried, guys. And, you know, and we're able to like live our lives and not need a man, because it should never be about need. But in some ways, you know, a 2-person income is better than single income in today's economy sometimes, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes, you know, it just depends. But Krista says marriage has always been a business exchange. It's funny when people are like, oh my God, the sanctity of marriage, brah. Yeah. Look it up, ladies, look it up. Judy says, all the ladies, take your time. Yes, Judy, learn yourself, love yourself, and feel whole, all on your own first. I love that, Judy. That is beautiful. And that's exactly, that's exactly what I wish for all women, no matter your age. Even if you have been married, and even if you have, you know, been divorced, all these things, like there's always time to live your life for you, and to learn, and to love yourself, and to buy a good vibrator. I mean, there's just so much that you can do. Spoil yourself. Okay. D Hoppy says credit cards didn't really come to be until the 70s. I'm tired of hearing that. My aunt, born in 1924, was single her whole life and had bank accounts, homes, and cars. But you literally could not get homes without a man signing for it. Like, I don't know where your aunt lived, and I'm not diminishing her experience, but that was the experience. That was what the Equal Rights Amendment, like the ERA, was, a lot of it was about, is like feminism, like responding and going, whoa, holy shit. Like, we need to start giving women the same freedoms as men have. We're not second-class citizens. You know, we shouldn't need a man to do all of these things. Or your father maybe signing for it, Denise. That's a good point as well. But again, needing a man. It's like, no, thank you. Susan C says 10-year relationship, got married. He left after 2 months. Live your best life. Smash it. Yes. Live your best life. H says, sounds like the aunt had her dad give her the house. It's probably money from family. I don't know. Possibly. Not paid by anyone says, I'm still shocked how many of the wealthy women on reality TV just sign the documents their husbands give them. Kyle and Wendy still do that. Shouldn't Delulu Teresa be Teresa's tale should be a cautionary tale. Yes. Valerie says, true. Women could not buy a house by themselves back then. No. So we've come a long way, but we still feel this pressure that we just have to just smash this pressure. But, you know, the powers that be, they know how powerful we are as women. And they know that if women actually got together and supported each other and fought for each other's rights, and if we actually ran shit, oh, damn, These dudes are terrified of it. Why else are they trying to hold us back? Why else is the patriarchy so afraid of falling? If we're not a threat and us having autonomy and freedom and power isn't scary to them, why are they hold on so dearly to the patriarchy? Why do they act so scared? Why you act so scared? What's going on? Let's see. Yes, 300 plus people here. You guys hit that like if you haven't already. Susie Q said this reinforces what a wasted season this last season. A VPR was, always can bring it back to that. I agree with you. So much girl power lost. It would have spoken volumes for, years of the women kind of being split and the men on VPR getting these cake, wonderful edits to see the women rise up and be like, fudge this. We are going to rise up together and we are going to have the girl power season that the audience wants to see. And instead, new. Twisted Life says, I felt bad for not wanting children. When I spoke with my dad, he said, don't have kids for me. Oh, your dad's so sweet. Live the life you want. It's just not the same message from my mom. I'm so sorry you didn't get that, but I'm so glad that you had one parent giving you that message. I think that's so important because I definitely was like, okay, if I never have kids, I'm denying, I've questioned that myself. Will I be letting my parents down, not having grandkids? And then my brother, thankfully my brother and sister-in-law, they were like, we'll pop out some. And then I was like, awesome, off the hook. And then it is, well, should I be giving them more cousins? All these things. I think there's these things that women think about that I don't know that men think about this as much, Lace says, regardless of a credit card, we can't overlook a woman not having the ability to vote. Yes. Obtain birth control, fight for equal pay, and so much more. Yes. I mean, those are just facts. That is just historical facts. We're still trying to break through this glass ceiling even today. Shit is still not where it needs to be. Not paid by anyone. Is stripping us from the right to choose is a way to continue, right? Why do you want to control our body so bad? Is it really about the babies? Is it really about life? Because the woman's life is there. What about her life? So you're just going to let her bleed out, but you're worried about the babies in life? Okay, cool. And you voted against kids receiving school lunches? You voted against that? Okay. And you don't want babies after they're born to be here and get help and social assistance? We should then punish them once they're born for the socioeconomics they're born into, that you force them to be born into, that they have no control of. Okay. That's pro-life? Cool. Interesting. But no free lunch at schools. Those freeloading kids, get a job, pay for your own lunch. We don't care. It's like, no, it is just about controlling a woman's body. That's all it's ever been about. And that's all it ever will be about forever and ever. Amen. Kylie says, I do think there are a lot of men that worry about having kids, but for a different reason. Yes. More of a passing down the family name sort of thing. That's a good point, Kylie. Very good point. So, Lucy says, I feel like having an absent dad is better than having a bad dad. Oof. Probably. And we still got to pay for tampons, pads, period panties. Yet you act like it's a luxury. Like we're all like, woo, period. If men got periods, everything would be free. There'd be tampons, pads, and they would find a way for you to for things to still be able to work, but you didn't have to bleed as long. Like they would have so many things and it would be free. But yet they're like, oh, you want to be a pearl girl, or do you want to be like a basic Kotex bitch, or do you want to be, they even have like differing brands of tampons that are better. It's like, I'm sorry, what? And then you pay more for those. Huh? What? No, just give them to me. I didn't choose to bleed. Okay. But yeah, here we go. And we're taxed on it too. And there's a tax on it. Men would get the week off. They'd be like, it's just going to be a 3-week work week. Like we're just going to work 3 weeks out of the month, maybe even 2. Cause you gotta, give for PMS, premenstruals too. Yep. Yep. Not paid by anyone. Say it louder for the people in the back. Pro-life in the womb, well, pro-guns while they're in school. Yep. We care about their lives yet. We're like, can't do anything about that. But Luigi Mangione is a terrorist. He's a terrorist, and we will fight this. He killed a rich guy who was killing other people while making money off it. But he killed a rich guy. But the kids with the school shootings are like, we'd love to, but the NRA and stuff is in our pockets, and they're big donors. Sorry, we'll piss people off. So we kind of need that. So, yeah. So do you care about kids? Are you pro-life? And you're anti-gun control and you won't do anything about the school shootings? I don't know. Nicole, thank you so much for the super chat. Nicole says, Happy New Year, Lean Team. That is so generous of you. Thank you, Nicole, and your sweet puppo in the picture. I used to be the girl with the wedding book, dreaming of her wedding day. At 45, I got myself out of a relationship where I was told that I either had to look better or change my personality. I'm sorry, what? Where can we find this man and murder him? Allegedly for funsies. It's funsies. We're just kidding. I'm so thrilled to now not answer to no one but myself. I'm thrilled for you, Nicole. I love that for you. And I love that you got yourself out of that situation. I wish that for everybody who's with someone who would say and do such awful things as this monster. Send me his address. No, just kidding. Just joking. But I remember when I got out of a toxic relationship and I didn't know, you don't know until you're out, like you start realizing things. I remember it's the dumbest thing, you guys, but I went to the grocery store, okay, for like the first time kind of by myself. And I saw the pineapples. And when I moved to Arizona with this guy, I always wanted to buy pineapples. Now, I had good intentions with buying the pineapples. And sometimes I would eat the pineapples, but I also loved the way the pineapples smelled. And I also liked, being from Minnesota at the time, you couldn't always just get pineapples at the grocery store. I was like, this is so cool. Am I like in the tropics? I had no idea. I didn't even know what avocado was. I swear to you, I know not all Minnesotans are like this, but that's how I was until I moved to Arizona in 2007. I had no idea. I was like, what is this magic? And then guacamole. And then, my mom didn't know what it was. She called it Guatemala. And I was like, that's a country. So, okay. But I went to the grocery store and I saw the pineapples and I went to reach for it. I said, no, I can't, because my ex would make such a big freaking deal and go, you're just going to let it rot. You're just going to let it go bad. You're not even going to eat it. You're not going to use it. You're not going to cut it. And it's like, so I was like, I can't buy it. And then all of a sudden I stopped in the middle of the grocery store and I was like, yes, I can do fucking buy it. And you know what I did? I bought a bunch, and some of them, sorry, did go bad, but I was like putting them in my cart, like, fuck this guy. It was like a scene out of a movie. If I ever write a movie, I'm going to write that scene in there. I was just putting pineapples in my cart. Like, I can buy the pineapples and you can't tell me that I can't, or that I'm going to let them rot, because you don't know. And even if I do, it's my choice. Me, sir. And it was that silly little thing that I didn't realize was just, it was so freeing to be like, now when I see a pineapple, I get it. It's the same thing when I started dating Chell and I was playing these stupid little games on my phone, and he was going off to like a comedy show or something. It was probably 2009, 2010. And my phone, I needed his phone for something. I was like, oh, I probably can't use your phone. And he was like, no, here, take my phone. For some reason, in the early days of iPhones and stuff, you didn't carry them everywhere. He was like, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go do a show. I don't know, somewhere at the Tempe Improv or something. We lived in Arizona. And he's like, you can use my phone and play your game. I had played mine for the day. And then I was like Monopoly. Who knows what I was playing at the time? Maybe it was Sims. I don't know. And he was like, well, just play it on my phone. And I was like, no, you're supposed to have your phone on lockdown. And there's supposed to be a passcode and I can't get in it because you have secrets in there. And he was like, no, you can look at anything. And I was like, and still all these years later with my husband, because past relationships had me believing that like you can't look at the phone. And then when you do look at the phone, you just find bad stuff. So I'm still like, I still have this little bit of anxiety. Like, am I going to see something? And I've never seen anything. He was like, no, I'm not hiding anything. And I was like, you don't even have those secret folders that say they're one thing and they're not? And he was like, no, you can look. You check all my, I was like, I don't want to, but like, weird. That's so weird. Yeah. Kara, yes. Chell's first time grocery shopping with you was it was a pineapple test. It was a test in pineapples, and he didn't say nothing. He was like, yeah, get pineapples. You want pineapple? Yeah, is that what you want? Yeah, that's what I want. Then get it. I'm sorry, what? And it's so sad to me that it took so long for me to realize that, but I'm glad I did. You know, it seems like it took a long time, but really I've been out of that longer than I was in it. So DGF, Angry Birds, no, I never really got too into Angry Birds, but I definitely got into like The Sims when you played on Facebook, and then a Monopoly game too. So yeah, Chel's a keeper. He's a sweetie pie. I'm very grateful for my hubs. And Nicole, thank you again for sharing that with us. And we're so happy for you. And fuck that guy and all the good stuff to you in 2025. And you're amazing. And show her all the love in the live chat like you guys are doing. Pamela B says, Joleen, sounds like you were maybe. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah, there was like a Monopoly game and you could play against other people and there was a chat. And now I never was like a gamer where you had like, the only time I'd see that is when like my brother or Chell was playing and they had the headset and they'd talk to people and sometimes they'd give me the thing to like talk shit, you know? But this is even maybe before then. And they had a live chat and you'd play against strangers, you know? And I used to do that with Dr. Mario too on the Wii. And you play against like people from China, you know? But on this Monopoly game, people would be in the chat and they'd be writing this mean stuff long before I was early into comedy, long before I was on YouTube or content creator, and they'd write this mean stuff. And one time Chell came home and I was crying. He's like, what? I was like, people are really mean on that Monopoly game. And he's like, oh my God, turn off the chat. And I was like, you can do that? And I turned it off. Since then, obviously I've gotten thicker skin, but yeah, it was rough back then. Not paid by anyone says, I get the pineapple moment every day after divorce. While married, I couldn't buy a lot without permission. You couldn't buy a lot without permission and supporting arguments, which is just so dumb. I get that you have to, you know, when you're with your spouse and your partner, you know, there is like finances can be a point of contention in relationships and stuff, but for one person to have the say, no. Osflygo says insurance pays for Viagra, but not birth. Isn't that interesting? If a man's cock don't work, we're like, stop, hammer time. We got to get in the blue pill. You better cover it because we need the cocks to work. And it's like, okay. But all things for women are like, I don't know if she needs that. I don't know. We haven't really studied that. There's so many ailments and things like physical things, mental health things regarding women that they're still like, yeah, we really haven't looked into it. We've done more research about cows. Yeah, we'll get to women eventually. You're like, okay, cool. Nicole, you're so very welcome. Mm-hmm. Yes, Pamela, I submit to nobody but my fur babies, the fur babes. Okay, so that discussion got us into a lot of fun and a lot of good things that I think need to be talked about in spaces where women can talk about this. It sounds like Giggly Squad is a place you can talk about this. Obviously, over here with the Lean Team on No Offense, All Offense, we can always talk about that and these things. And we need a space where we can be like, hey, this is bullshit. This is some bullshit. And I don't got to feel bad for saying it. Okay. All right. So there is, let me see. There's some more stuff I want to discuss. We're already at an hour. Dang. You guys talk a lot. No, that's me. I talk a lot. Okay. So, there's this guy, you guys have probably seen him on TikTok, but I was just scrolling through so let's do a really funny thing right now. And he's a stand-up comedian stuff. And I saw him years ago, but I saw like a compilation put together, and his TikTok, I believe, is Scott Cease. Let me just double check that that's what it is so that we can give him proper attribution. And everyone, if you're not already following him, he's an American comedian and actor, and he's on the TikTok and the Instagram. Let me drop his TikTok. And he has 2.1 million followers. So I'm sure you've seen him before. And it was just so funny coming out of the holidays, watching the compilation of him talking about, like, he does these like customer service type things, videos, and they're very, very funny. And I was just cracking up this morning, and I'm like, we need to do this for our jokey portion of No Offense, All Offense. Okay, let me find it. And audio is going to be shared. Yeah. And I was just cracking my ass up. So I thought we could just watch this quick compilation together and have some good laughs. So again, you can go find him. I put his little TikTok in. He's got Instagram, and it's Scott Seiss. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Seiss. Scott. So okay, I figured most people know this guy, but they put like together. It's like the IKEA guy, yeah. And he's so freaking funny. These, as I was just talking about, like TikTok, I'm not really on it that much. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, this guy's super funny. So give me a thumbs up in the chat as soon as you hear the audio on this. But I thought, especially after the holiday season and coming off that and shopping and, you know, all of our consumerism, this is more relevant than ever.
Yourself a customer. You think I own this business? You think I own IKEA? I'm a part-time employee halfway through a 2-week notice. I don't give a shit. I'm telling all my friends not to shop here. Tell them. You think I want 5 other yous running around the store? Have them call me, I'll tell them. You think you hate this place more than me? I work here. I know the sale ended last week, but can I still get a discount? Do you hear yourself? We can't go backwards. Time marches on. You want the sale from 15 years ago too? When's it end, Diane? You want that price? You're gonna have to go through the quantum realm with Ant-Man.
Not Diane. When does it end, Diane? Oh, this dude. This will never not be funny.
You know how much money I spend here? More than you should. Meatballs ain't that good. Save your money and my time. Doesn't matter how much you spend here. We don't thank our donors. This isn't PBS. Every time I come here, my order gets messed up. Then stop coming. Make my day. Every time you come here, your order's messed up. Sounds like you're making the mistake. Look inward. You're ordering the wrong shit. I'd like to speak to your manager. I'd like to speak to your mother. Tell her she should be embarrassed. She raised someone to act like a baby in public. You want to speak to the manager, please? Manager doesn't know what's going on. Haven't you ever worked anywhere before? I know that's not right. I used to work here. Well, things change. Sorry they didn't run it by you first. You used to work here. Well, I used to be happy. And you walked in. Can you just check in the back? Can you just accept we don't have it? The back ain't some magical place. What do you think is back there? Santa's workshop? The only thing back there is a clipboard with our schedules and some brownies Darcy brought in. The website said it was in stock, and what do your eyes say? Sometimes it's wrong. The website also has pictures of employees smiling. You see that? You should go yell at your computer instead of me. It'll get you the same result. Nothing. This is cheaper at other stores. Then shop there. Why are you here? You need directions? I'll get you some. I'll call you an Uber. I don't set the prices. I'm a seasonal employee. You working hard or hardly working? I'm hardly laughing. I'm already at work. I don't have time for a second job pretending you're funny. Why don't you tell me something I don't hear every day? Like, thank you. You should open up more registers. And who's going to work them? You think I'm the only one ringing you up because I called dibs? You want me to clone myself? You're saying you want to apply? Well, you see we're shorthanded. Where's your resume? I can't believe they have you working Thanksgiving. I can't believe you're shopping. Why do you think I'm here? It's because of you. I have to stand here for 15 hours so you can yell at me instead of your family. I work retail. I don't even remember what Thanksgiving is. The customer is always right. About what? How to piss me off? You think you're God because you went shopping? You're not infallible, Susan. You're at the mall. Always right. That's why you're on your 9th try hitting the button for credit. Do you have any coupons for me? That's what I ask you. We all have our roles to play. What, you think you just got a cheat code for the store? Oh yeah, I gave a few 100% offs back here for the smart customers. Bring your own. Didn't scam? Must be free, and you must be out of your mind. I think you're the first person to say that. You're not even the first one today. Don't worry about the scan. I'll type in the product code and charge you double. I swear, I fake laugh at this job so much, I forget how my real one sounds.
Oh my God, you guys. The dude that is, I know he's been doing that for years now, but I saw on Twitter that they had the compilation together, and there's even more to it. But I just wanted to take a little bit, but if you want to go check out his channel, just search Scott Seiss. I think this is how you spell his name. And he's on Instagram, he's on TikTok. So go show him all the love, because those videos are hilarious. And yes, if you've ever worked in retail, if you've ever worked in the service industry, I've worked in both, and you get those kind of questions and like the jokes, but even the asking if it's in the back, I've been guilty. I've been like, do you have any more of these in the back? And I imagine they're like, oh, bitch. And then also, do you have any coupons? do you think I got this because I called dibs? He's great. Super funny. Yeah, probably did start off as his therapy, Vcoin, because all the dumb questions that you get or the way the people are, taking things out on you. I mean, that is just so funny. So funny. Okay. Let's see. What else were we going to talk about here? Let me just double check. Here, you guys, smash that like while you're waiting. Okay. All right, nothing on there. Nothing on there. All right, let me take a look here. I pulled up some other stuff. Oh, Andy Cohen has broken his silence about Karen Huger and her DUI. And if you missed that, a couple, no offense, all offenses ago, we talked about Karen Huger and we played the body cam footage of her DUI, which was like, oh my God. It was wow. And she pled not guilty and she was clearly very guilty. And that is why the jury found her guilty. And we will reconvene on that once she is sentenced here in January. But according to Taste of Reality, Andy Cohen still processing Karen Huger DUI arrest and impeding sentencing. It's very sad. He says Andy Cohen weighed in on Karen Huger's drunk driving arrest. Bravo TV's daddy told people, I haven't really processed it yet. I wonder if he's watched the full 30 plus minutes of body cam like we did, because you'll be able to process it pretty quick. Says my girl Karen she was like, there was a deer, it was a hybrid deer man alien, and the car that jumps out at me is one of those Teslas, but a deer shaped like a deer. And then it jumps out and then it hit me. So me and Ray, we're leaving. Ray, I am the grand dame. We're leaving. And we're like, I don't think you're leaving. You're pretty drunk. I'm not drunk. The TV personality continued, but I think it's very sad. I think it's all sad. Yeah, Andy. Yeah. Yep. People just on their second DUI out there driving around, getting it, not even just driving, but like getting in a full-on accident where you could have killed someone. Yeah, it's pretty sad. So, Andy's just, just very, oh, wow, that is, I haven't really processed it yet, but it's very sad. I think it's all sad. Okay. It's just sad. Got it. Karen's crimes, the Grand Dame crossed a median and struck multiple street signs, but was not injured at the time of the crash. She did barf in her own purse, allegedly. That's what we saw in the video. There was vomits on her Louis. Thankfully, no one else was hurt. After the March 19th incident, Huger, 61, was charged with DUI and DWI. That's two. Driving under the influence and driving while intoxicated. I always wondered why there was a DUI and DWI. Because back in the day, it was just like, you got a DUI, a DWI. But now there's both, I guess. Negligently driving a vehicle in a careless and imprudent manner, endangering property, life, and person, as well as recklessly driving a vehicle in wanton and willful disregard for the safety of persons and property. Other charges include failure to control vehicle speed on the highway to avoid a collision, driving a vehicle in excess of reasonable and prudent speed on the highway, driving a vehicle on the highway with a suspended registration, she had that too, and failure to notify administration of change of address within 30 days. So her ID had her old address on it, I guess. Karen was found guilty on all charges except reckless driving, which is interesting because it was pretty reckless, I would say. At the time, the Montgomery County Police Department confirmed that the Real Housewives of Potomac star had been involved in a single vehicle collision in Potomac. Law enforcement said the television personality crossed a median and struck multiple street signs, but was not injured at the time of the crash. At the time of the incident, she was not arrested. However, she received several citations. And then obviously here, if you missed us going over it, they do have it on YouTube. If you just search Karen Huger full DUI arrest video, you'll see it. And then during her trial, an EMT told the jury, because it was a jury trial, that Huger refused treatment on the scene, which we saw. She's like, yeah. Also, she swayed as she tried to get into the ambulance. Once inside the ambulance, she testified Huger used profanity toward the first responders. So I would be hoping there is a sizable donation going to the first responders now, Karen. Hopefully. And let's see, the EMT testified that Huger told them to fuck off and to go F themselves on more than one occasion. Oh my gosh. So that's all. I mean, that's it. That's all Andy gonna say? That's all Andy gonna say? Yeah, Candy said she might as well be dressed like Urkel saying, did I do that? Did I do that? Yeah, Karen, you did. Okay. And I love myself some Grand Dame, but when I found out this is her second DUI, and when I saw the tape and how drunk she was, I'm like, girl, you need to get some help. And there is no way that you should be out here pleading not guilty. You should be taking full accountability, because that was a mess. That was a mess of all messes. The messiest piece of mess that ever messed. Okay. Now I saw Jennifer Pedranti was doing a live yesterday, and I caught like a little bit of it. I didn't record it. And Jen or maybe you don't, but she is one of the newest housewives on the Real Housewives of Orange County. She's been there for a few seasons now. She came on as Tamra's friend, but in true Tamra fashion, she stabbed her in the back and went after Jen's man, not in a sexy way, allegedly, but in like, he's a scammer, he's a this, and he probably is all of those things. Actually, I think he is, allegedly. But Tamra just not being a good friend. So Jen was live, and I'm like, what is Jen live about? And it seemed, I think she was live, or she did a video, one of the two. It popped up for me, and I listened to a little bit of it, and it seemed like she was apologizing. And then today, Taste of Reality is saying Jennifer Pedranti defends taking her sons to Jason Aldean's bar. We have love for all. So people were mad she went to Jason Aldean's bar. I'm more mad at her soon-to-be husband's True Religion jacket. That is very offensive to me. Every dickhead I've ever known has owned a pair of True Religions. No offense, all offense. Okay. So Jennifer Pedranti is refuting homophobia and political allegations. The Real Housewives of Orange County, Jennifer is in hot water with her comment section after taking her sons to Jason Aldean's bar while in Vegas. That's a country person. Okay. I think, right, you guys? Okay. Is it like the guy that passed away who had a bar? I love this bar. Like a Toby Keith's? The OC fan favorite posted a video on December 29th denying allegations that she aligns with Jason Aldean's politics. In case you missed it, both Jason Aldean, I did miss it, and his wife, Brittany, faced online backlash after his wife made transphobic comments on Instagram. In addition to homophobia allegations, Jason's song, Try That in a Small Town, is thought to have racial and violent undertones. Oh, I've never heard this song. Anybody familiar with the Jason Aldean here? With Jennifer supporting Jason's business publicly, fans couldn't help but wonder if she also does politically. However, Jen is denying those claims. It was simply a 21st birthday celebration for her son. She said, nothing more, nothing less. Stepping into controversy, you don't know anything about our political views. I mean, you live in Orange County, you're a housewife. I think we do, but that's, okay, cool. Or how we feel about the gay community, because we love all. Jen began her defense. To come on social media and make all these judgments is comical, to say the least. In addition to her passionate plea, she also captioned her video with a mini dissertation. To those of you who respond in love and kindness, this video is not for you. We love and appreciate you. Those of you who have taken the time to pass judgment on our political views and other nonsense, this video is for you. Okay. Last night was a magical night with our two sons for their 21st birthday. Nothing more, nothing less. My advice to you goes back to something my mom taught me when I was little. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Thank you again at Jason Aldean's for such an amazing night. Precious memories, line dancing with our boys, and so much more. Note, she also thanked Jason Aldean in the caption, as we see. She thanked his bar, so she must have thanked him too. Now, I'm not saying, this is Taste of Reality Talk, I'm not saying Jennifer is any of the names she's being called in the comments, but I am saying it's weird to go out of your way to thank the person the room is calling you out for supporting. What do you guys think about this? I don't know anything about him. I do remember Toby Keith. Remember Toby Keith was like, put a boot in his ass, and he talked shit on the Dixie Chicks. So I was like, I will never step foot in that man's bar. And I don't think I ever did. They were in Arizona. I think two of my friends who I love dearly, back in the day, they might have met each other there, and they're still married to this day, and I love them. But I was like, I ain't going. I remember friends going, you want to go to Toby Keith? I'm like, no, I would rather die. No offense, all offense. Okay. Because what he did to the chicks in his boot and ass song, no, thank you. So I don't know if Jason Aldean is on that level. April says, what's wrong with taking her girl kids to a bar? I guess it's because it's Jason Aldean's bar and there's been all of these allegations made against him. Maybe Jen didn't know. I don't know. I don't know what she knows and what she doesn't know. But Silly Goose of God, what's it like to live in outer space with Jen? She does kind of live in like, yeah, Jen. I did like her this last season. But yeah, it is weird then when people are calling you out for it to go, I don't agree with anything he says, and then go, thank you, Jason Aldean, you're great. Anna says, Madison from Southern Charm is good friends with the Aldeans, and people just ignore it. Oh, I did not even know. I've heard the name, but I didn't know any of the backstory on him. Like, I just became aware in the past year of this Jelly Roll person. So I don't keep up with like newer country stuff. Let's see. Chris says, I've been trying to boycott McDonald's for their snitching asses, the snitches. Snitchy snitch. Denise, thank you so much for the super chat. Denise has been away for a while. Glad to catch you live. Keep up the great work, Jolene. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Denise, Elizabeth, and thank you so much for the super chat. Susan C says, wow, never known Jen to show poor judgment. I know you're being sarcastic there. Teresa G says the song, I assume you're talking about the Jason Aldean song, does sound threatening, but I don't think, let's see, what did you say? I don't think she was his personal guest. No. I mean, I'm sure I go into places and shop places where some shit, like some people will be like, oh, you go there? Well, and I'm like, fudge, because I personally don't support Walmart for a lot of reasons. My dad was a Teamster. There was so many things growing up. Like, I remember Hormel went on strike during the 80s, and we weren't allowed to have any Hormel products, which was a pretty big, meat and whatever, in grocery stores. And to this day, I see something I'm like, no. I don't even know if I even see Hormel anymore, honestly. But that's just how I was raised, is just like places that were anti-union. But I mean, there I am going to Starbucks. So what kind of hypocrite am I? They're talking about wanting to unionize, and I hope they do. I hope the workers are able to do that. But there's pushback from the Starbucks. So yeah, I don't know. It's almost, maybe it probably would have been better if Jen just didn't address it at all and was just like, it's just a bar we went to. I don't agree with any crap he said, but it's a bar that we went to for their birthday. I feel like maybe that would have been the better move. Denise said, I don't like Home Depot either. I support Lowe's much more than Home Depot for many reasons. Not that I'd never go into Home Depot, because I'd be lying. But when I can choose between the two, I choose Lowe's. And when I can choose between Sam's Club and Costco, I don't go to Sam's Club because I don't have a membership there. I choose Costco. But that's just me. That doesn't mean everybody has to do that. And I understand, like, especially with like Walmart, the prices and all those things are a lot of reasons why people shop there. And times are tough. And some people love a Walmart. So I'm not going to be like, you're a bad person because you go to Walmart. No, I'm just, for myself, I was like trained to not go to Walmart. I remember, my brother still will go into Walmart. So who's the favorite child? No, and my dad, I think my mom actually this year, I don't know if she did it for a joke, but she gave him a Walmart gift card, and everyone was like, what? Because it was like this big family secret that my brother would go to Walmart, because we're like, no, if you need something, you get your ass to Target. Okay. Lay says Jason Aldean introduced Trump at one of his Georgia rallies. Okay. That tracks. Have you met Greg Wallace? For people that should be quiet. Shh, Susan says. Shh. Care Bear says no Walmart, no Starbucks, no Chick-fil-A. Probably Union Girl here. Yeah, I can't help it. My dad was a Teamster, so it was just like ingrained in me. Like we walked picket lines with my dad. So, but that doesn't mean I'm always on top of like who is, which company. No, I'd be lying if I said that. I'm not. But when I can be, I try my best. That's all I can do is try my best. Laura and Christy Buffemeyer say, Christy and I went to Nashville 2 weeks ago. I swear the whole street of Broadway are bars that we don't frequent. Really? I do love myself some Nashville though. Krista says, man, I hate Walmart. The Roseville Walmart is so bad. Roseville, Minnesota or Roseville, California, Carissa? Let's see. Missy Thomas says Toby Keith's song Red, White, and Blue wasn't about the Dixie Chicks. It was about being angry. Yeah, there was a 9/11 song. I remember that. A boot in their ass. I didn't like that, Missy. But I didn't like, though at the time, how he was kind of like, they were all going at the chicks, for what they said about George Bush and stuff. And Toby Keith was one of the ones that was kind of like shitting on the chicks as well. Not in the song. So sorry if I was confusing with that, but I didn't like the boot in your ass song either. I was like, okay, Toby. I just wasn't a Toby fan, but that's like the extent of what I knew. I just knew that I like stood with the chicks and I was like, fuck this guy. That's all I knew. Okay. Oh, obviously, Carissa. Minnesota girlie, stand up. How's Rosedale Mall doing though? Speaking of Roseville, I loved myself. I mean, we've probably talked about this before, Carissa, but I used to think going to Rosedale Mall, I was fancy because I lived closer to Maplewood Mall. And I liked that mall, but Roseville was like the fancy mall where I was like, oof, I'm doing good in life. Denise says Macy's has dropped their prices so much for the quality. It may be safer to go there. Interesting. Oh, we're supposed to say proud. Okay. Oh, well, you mean proud Union Girl. Got it. Yeah, he spoke out against them. That's what I remember about Toby Keith. I was like, screw you, dude. They're already getting piled up on for having their own opinion as Americans and the opinion that a lot of us had. And now, he was going to double down on it. And then I just thought his song sucked compared to the chicks. I thought their songs were like way better. And when they put out, oh, I'm not ready to make nice, I was like, that's like my anthem. Forgive sounds good. Forget, I'm not sure I could. Oh, I have a microphone here. They say time heals everything, but I'm still waiting. Oh, such a good song. I'm through with it down. Nothing left for me to figure out. And they'll be like, I'm not ready to make nice. I'm not ready to back down. I'm still mad as hell and I don't have time to go round and round and round. It's too late to make it right. I probably wouldn't if I could. And my battery's dead. Because I'm mad as hell. Can't bring myself to do what it is you think I should. I know you said, can't you just get over it? It turned my whole world around. And I kind of like it. That's my favorite part. And I kind of like it. I'm in my bed and I sleep like a baby with no regrets. And I don't mind saying it. Whatever the rest of the words are. You guys know what I'm saying. Okay. Shout out to the chicks. I'm not ready to make nice. I'm not ready to back down. Ugh, I wish I could play it without YouTube being like, Yeah, we're doing the Jolene's Got Talents. All right, you guys. We are at an hour and a half. I say I'm going to do an hour, but I just love you guys and I love chatting. So shout out to all my super chatters today, you guys. Thank you. Amy Ism, Tamra, Wanda Lee, Valerie, Cami, Wanda Lee again. Thank you so much. Nicole, Denise. You guys are all beautiful, wonderful pumpkin spice babies. Sugar plum babies as well. And remember, tomorrow I will be live early for members on YouTube and members on Patreon, in 2 of the tiers on Patreon, for a special Night Pants with Nana. So if you want to say goodbye to 2024 with Nana, make sure you sign up for a membership here on YouTube or check out the tiers on Patreon where we have, exclusive content on both, among other things. But hopefully you'll join us because I know Nana wants to say hi to everybody and we're going to get our last Night Pants. Nana was spilling it. She was just like telling us stories as she does. Super fun. Chickenhead PK Dorkface Neely, thank you so much. Love the top. Thank you. I think what I say, Kate and Sam. I'll have to look up where it's from, but I got it as a Christmas present, one of my Christmas presents. So, and I like it because it's really soft. It's stretchy. It's very stretchy, you guys, and it has little things on it, pearlies, because I'm a pearl girl. She's a pearl girl. Oh, lipstick brand. You know what's so funny? I brought the lipstick with me because I was going to remind myself that this is how much lipstick I have left of my favorite lipstick I've ever owned in my whole life, which is Lip Esteem, a company that we support. It's a woman-owned, woman of color owned, and out of Minnesota. And it's wonderful. And their products are fantastic. And this is my favorite. And last time I looked on the website, I couldn't find this color. So I might have to hit up my friend and say, hi, are you making this anymore? It's Classic Matte Monet. The number is 6. That's Classic Matte Monet. And this is how much I love it. Literally. And it's just the best thing ever. And it's the best. It's literally the best lipstick I've ever had. And I wear it so often on here. So lipesteem.com. Let me put it in there if you want to support small business, woman-run businesses. She does not pay me to say this. If she did, I would tell you guys. She sends me products. She's a sweetie, wipe the seedy. But I really do love this company. So lipesteem.com, and they have so many good lipsticks, lip glosses, all the things. And support women, support small businesses, do the damn thing. Yes, Lip Esteem. And you will find it here. Let me just show you the website just so that you'll be like, is this the right one? Is this the right website? I will always support Lip Esteem. We've been I think I met, when did what year was it, you guys? I met Tamika Jones. She's the founder, and met her. I mean, she's actually from Minnesota, and we were going to meet up. And I think I was sick when I was in Minnesota. We were going to meet up. But Tamika started this business during the Panakuchen. And she's just fantastic. And there was a Hulu show she was on an episode of about like businesses and startups and stuff. And I mean, she started a business arguably at the worst time you could start a business. But she did the damn thing, and she's so cute and she's so cool, and she makes such good products, and they have good stuff in them. So the classic mattes, let's see if we can find the one I'm looking for. Monet, where are you? Four Seasons Cafe Latte. Lady, ooh, that looks like a good one. Lady Boss, I do like a red. No Drama. Oh, Purple Rain. Shout out to Prince. See, I don't see that one, but a lot of these colors look really good. So I'm going to have to hit her up and be like, hi, do you still have the classic matte Monet, or can you put it back in stock for all of us lean teamers? So lipesteem.com, you guys, if you want to get yourself a little something, because you deserve it, go there and support our girl who is just killing it. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Hit that like on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please comment, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for the members only and Patreon supporters only at 9 a.m. Pacific, so 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Mountain, and then at 11:30 Pacific, I'll be live for those of you who aren't members, and we'll be going having another No Offense, All Offense, where we just have the most fun without any player haters. No player haters. It'll be a top titty 2x4 good time.
So many heroes tonight for the home team. One of them is this guy right here, Big Jake Middleton. Physical, fast hockey game. What was it like watching that overtime?
Yeah, so much fun. Gus was unbelievable. Kirill stayed out there for 2 minutes. Brock had a 2-minute shift too. Everyone played unbelievable. Kirill, top titty 2x4 to end the game. That was nice.
Why is this team able to win hockey games so many different ways?
Stick together, dude. That's what you saw tonight. They want to go after our big dogs. We'll go after theirs, and we'll play longer than they do.
And this crowd, it did not feel like a weeknight. This felt like a weekend party. How much do you guys feed off the big crowd here in St. Paul every night?
That's unbelievable. Every night is Saturday when you're having fun in a place like this, right?
It sure is. It's also Big fun when you win. Jake, congratulations on a goal and a big W for the Minnesota Wild.
Thanks, Gorgie. Take care.
Shout out to Cousin Gorgie. Yes, a top 22 by 4 good time. Speaking of which, the Wild did lose in my little sports segment to Ottawa last night. It was a rough one. But the Vikings won in the border battle against the Green Bay Packers, which seldom happens. All right. And so we are doing the damn thing. You guys know I'm watching football this season for the first time, like a whole season, and getting into it. And I am very pro Vikings. Me and my husband, I say Sunday is our sports day. Sometimes I know it happens on Mondays and Thursdays, but I love the Sundays and the foosball. So we had football and hockey. The Vikings came in with a big win, a nail biter against the Packers. Apologies to my Wisconsin friends, but you know, we never get this. Okay. So give us this. All right. Give us this day our daily bread. Okay. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. You cannot take the Catholic out of the girl, even if she wants to be out of it. But Vikings had a big day. Justin Jefferson and Sam Darnold and all the things, and came with a big win. But the Wild did not have a good top titty 2 by 4. Go Chiefs. Oh, see, you're lucky. You have like a really good team that goes to Super Bowls. We, the Minnesota saying is we just want to see the Vikings go to a Super Bowl before we die. There is literally a podcast, like I think it's called Purple Daily, with these 3 guys, and that is their like little motto. Like, we just want to see the Vikings go to a Super Bowl before we die. That's all we're asking for. Some people like the Packer fans, Chiefs fans, they're used to that sort of thing. In your lifetime, you've seen that. I have not in my lifetime. Most of us have not. My dad said, I think the last time was like the 70s. It's been a long time, and we are long overdue. Okay. Yes. Steelers. See, you guys know about winning. You know that. Lions are going to be, DGF. It's like going to be Vikings versus the Lions. And it's going to be hard. We're going to need some of your good players to just sit down. Okay. To help us out. Because the Lions, you guys know about winning too. We don't know that life. Give us a chance. Throw us a bone. We deserve it. It's our time. Okay, I got to move on. All right. Long Minnesota goodbye. We'll see you guys later. Comment after the video post. Follow me on social media at Joleen Lunzer. Bye.
If you like what you